I'm Sumit, a 24-year-old software engineer with a wandering spirit and a love for quick getaways. My older sister, Sakshi, is 27, a teacher with long, cascading black hair, a slender waist, and an alluring figure, always lighting up the room with her radiant smile. Her best friend, Neha, is 25, a fashion designer who is tall, curvaceous, and has a perpetual glint of mischief in her eyes. She often joins us on my travels. Our journey began on a Sunday when Sakshi announced that she and Neha were heading to Shimla the following week and wanted me to tag along. I agreed instantly, my curiosity piquing. From the moment the train pulled out of the station, Sakshi and Neha's bubbly banter, their laughter, and the adorable lack of hesitation between them pulled me into their world. Sakshi looked at me and teased, "Sumit, you're going to have to tolerate our craziness," while Neha chimed in from behind, laughing, "Yeah, just make sure you don't get left behind." Their smiles and the sparkle in their eyes drew me closer. The atmosphere in our compartment felt nostalgic, like a return to childhood where every little thing mattered. Sakshi arranged the food platter with care, while Neha brewed tea, enveloping us all in its aroma. I was struck by their chemistry, how two women could be so effortless and fun together. They played little games, clapped along to songs, and playfully teased one another. I watched silently, realizing how warm and invited I felt just being in their orbit. As we arrived in Shimla, the cool breeze and the lush greenery of the mountains instantly washed away our fatigue. Upon checking into the hotel, Sakshi and Neha were delighted by the room's decor, and seeing them happy made me feel a thrill of my own. We headed straight for the local market, a kaleidoscope of colorful fabrics, handicrafts, and spices. Sakshi nudged me, saying, "Sumit, look at Neha. She finds joy in everything." Neha glanced at me with a smile that felt like it was meant to capture my attention. Walking through that market, their playful gestures and subtle signals made my heart race. I realized this wasn't just a trip. It was filling my world with a new sense of adventure and romance. At a small hillside cafe, Sakshi ordered tea for me while Neha prepared sandwiches. Their care, their smiles, and their conversation made me feel like the luckiest man alive. Neha looked at me and said, "Sumit, have fun with us. Don't just sit there quietly." Sakshi laughed in agreement. "Yes, we need your laughter too." Their attention warmed me from the inside out. On the way back, they challenged me on the winding paths. Who could walk the fastest, who could take the best photo, who had the best laugh. It became clear that this trip was less about natural beauty and more about the warmth of the moments spent with them. That night, sitting on the hotel balcony sipping tea, the intimacy of their conversation and their physical proximity sparked a distinct attraction in my heart. I sat quietly between them, soaking in the atmosphere, realizing this trip was a journey into deep, rising emotions. The second day began with their smiling faces. They were already on the balcony, bathed in the soft morning sun, looking captivating. They grabbed my hands and said, "Come on, today we show you real adventure." The warmth of their hands sent my heart racing. We went trekking on roads famous for their scenic thrills. "Watch out, don't lag behind," Sakshi whispered. Neha added with a mischievous grin, "We're going to challenge you at every turn." We reached a small waterfall where the spray of cold water made the moment incredibly romantic. "Let's dip our feet in," Sakshi said, moving closer. Neha added, "Hold my hand, don't fall." The touch of their hands and the feeling of being so close to them in the water was electric. Amidst the sound of the falls, their laughter and wet hair created a beautiful, intimate tableau. Neha whispered, "You know, Sumit, this trip is even more fun with you." Sakshi's confirming smile told me that this was the beginning of a new level of closeness. Later, we sat at a cafe where they ordered for me, their subtle gestures continuing to spike my adrenaline. "You're getting closer to us today," Neha murmured, and Sakshi's eyes signaled agreement. By evening, we reached a viewpoint to watch the sunset. The red horizon, the chill in the air, and their presence created a perfect romantic setting. Sakshi placed her palm in mine, and Neha touched my shoulder gently. Today was memorable, Neha laughed. I sat between them, feeling every brush of their skin and every shared smile. Back at the hotel, the air was thick with comfort and affection. Relax with us, they said, but be careful. We might tease you. I was lost in their banter, feeling drawn deeper into their circle. The next day's trek to the peak was breathtaking, but my focus remained on them. At the summit, we sat in silence, the cold wind contrasting with the warmth of their bodies next to mine. Neha leaned her head toward me. Sakshi rested a hand on my shoulder. It was a small touch, but it thrilled me to the core. That final night, the atmosphere was charged. We're going to bother you even more tonight, they joked over dinner. As the night deepened, so did the attraction. Neha leaned in, Sakshi touched my shoulder, and they whispered, "We are right here with you, Sumit." I realized then that this wasn't just a vacation. It was an awakening of deep, romantic feelings and a bond that blurred the lines of simple friendship. The trip ended, but the warmth of Sakshi and Neha's company, the thrill of the mountains, and the intimacy we shared is something I will cherish forever. I returned knowing that adventure isn't just in the world outside, but in the closeness of those you hold dear.